Hello, welcome back to Alrighty English. I'm Augustine, and on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of idioms that are used in Breaking Bad. Just a quick reminder, on my last YouTube video, I talked about Breaking Bad and how much I like it. And I also mentioned that I was going to take some notes on some of the idioms that the characters use in Breaking Bad. And the reason I'm doing this is because Breaking Bad uses everyday language. So I think it could be a good source to learn English and to learn how to speak English in a natural way, right? In a very organic way. But before we get into all of that, I have to explain to you guys what an idiom is. And basically, an idiom is a group of words that loses its original meaning, right? Or it loses its literal meaning or its literal meaning. So today I'll be going over two idioms. I'll be going over out of the blue and clear the air, right? So let's look at the second idiom, clear the air. Yeah, like you can, I guess clear the air does have a literal meaning. You could maybe use a humidifier to clear the air, right? To purify the air. You can use a purifier to clear the air. Literally, you want to make dirty air into clean air, right? That's the literal meaning. But when we're using clear the air as an idiom, the meaning changes completely. Right? It has nothing to do with dirty air or clean air. And as a matter of fact, if you guys go to your translator, right? If you go to Google Translate and you try to translate clear the air from English into your native language, you're gonna be surprised. Unless you have a very advanced translator that knows the difference between literal speak and idiomatic speech. Idiomatic meaning idiom, right? So as an example, if I were to put the idiom clear the air into my Google Translate and say I would translate it from English to Spanish. Yes, I do know how to speak Spanish, so here is going to come in handy. Right? So if I put clear the air, the meaning that Google Translate is going to give me for this in Spanish is going to be limpia or limpiar el aire, which literally means to clear the air. And that's the problem, because in Spanish, if you say clear the air, it only has a literal meaning. It doesn't have an idiomatic meaning. And I think you guys will see why this is important, because a lot of times what happens, students want to take shortcuts, right? And I don't blame you. But some students want to take shortcuts, so they'll just use their translator for everything. And sometimes their definitions are wrong, are incorrect, right? And this is why, because a lot of translators have trouble discerning or understanding when an idiom is being used. And when the translator translates the idiom for you from one language to another language. It's going to give you the literal meaning, and that might lead to confusion. Imagine if you don't know what clear the air means and you're watching Breaking Bad and they're using this as an idiom. You might be thinking, why are they trying to clear the air? Like, did I miss something? Was this scene edited out? What's happening here? Right? Again, the importance of knowing what an idiom is. So, if you guys have friends who are learning English, please have them watch this video. It's going to be very useful. And for you guys, again, if you're learning English, I believe this will be very useful. If you already know English, hopefully you can still learn something, right? There's always something to learn. And at the end of this video, I want you guys to do some work, right? I want you guys to use the idioms that I'm going to talk about in a sentence, right? So I'm going to go over 2 idioms. So I want you guys to create 2 sentences, one for each idiom, and just put it in the comment section, and then I'll give you feedback. And also in the description section of the video, I'm going to put the idioms and I'm going to put the meaning in case you guys want additional review of what these idioms mean. But let's get started. Let's get to it. So the first idiom I want to talk about is out of the blue. Out of the blue. Out of the blue. Right? When we're speaking, we won't say out of the blue. Right? When we're speaking, it's going to sound something like this. Out of the blue. So out of actually becomes outa. O-U-T-T-A. Outa. And the becomes D-A. So it'll be out of the blue. Right? Blue keeps its normal pronunciation, but the other words do change. So you would say out of the blue. So for example, out of the blue, Augustine created his YouTube channel, right? Which means suddenly, right? Out of nowhere, Augustine started his YouTube channel, right? Out of the blue, suddenly, out of nowhere, without prior knowledge, without me letting you know about my plans, right? Out of the blue. And here we're using out of the blue as an adverb. That's why we can also say suddenly. So you can say suddenly Augustine created or started his YouTube channel. Or you can say Augustine started his YouTube channel suddenly. And instead of saying suddenly, you can just say out of the blue. Right? So out of the blue, Augustine started his YouTube channel. Or Augustine started his YouTube channel out of the blue. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is clear the air. Clear the air. And when we say clear the air, again, we're going to go over a slight modification when it comes down to the pronunciation of it. Clear stays the same, right? Clear. The is actually going to become the. And the reason for this is because there's a rule in spoken English. When you're using the, and the word that follows the starts with a vowel sound, the will change to the. And here we have air. Air starts with a right? Starts with a vowel sound. So it's going to be the air. Clear the air. And here you have a choice. You could say clear the air, or you can say clear the air, right? Instead of saying TH, you can say DEE, right? Clear the air or clear the air. They're both perfectly fine. People won't really notice. And the reason is because when you're talking, you're usually going to be talking at a normal speed. And when we speak at a normal speed, we tend to change the TH sound into a D, right? So again, clear the air. And when we use clear the air, we're trying to fix something. We're trying to make up. Say you got into an argument with your significant other, and now it's awkward, right? You guys aren't talking to each other. You love each other, but you know there is friction between the two of you. How can we resolve this problem? How can we fix this problem? Well, you can clear the air. You can talk things through. You can message your significant other. You can call them, and you can set up a meeting with them, and then just tell your boyfriend or your girlfriend, hey, you know what? I made a mistake. I want to clear the air. I want to clear the air. I want to make up. I don't want you to be mad at me anymore. I don't want us to avoid each other. I love you a lot. Come on, we have to clear the air. All right. So again, if you have had a previous argument with a person and now the relationship has friction, if you want to make up, if you want things to go back to normal, you have to clear the air, right? And here, what you want to keep in mind is that the word clear is being used as a verb. And what this means is that clear is going to change form based on the tense that you're going to use it in. So if we use it in the past, we could say, last night I cleared the air. I finally talked to her. Or today I am going to clear the air, right? We're using the ing form, the continuous, with a future meaning. Or you could say, I will clear the air, or I have cleared the air. You might even say, I had cleared the air before she broke up with me, right? So what you just want to remember is that the word clear will change form based on the tense that you choose. Okay, so those are the two idioms that I think will be very helpful for you guys. I use them once in a while. Hopefully I don't have to use clear the air that often. If I do, then maybe I'm in trouble. But hey, maybe you had a disagreement with a loved one, maybe with your significant other, and you want to clear the air, right? You want things to go back to normal. So it will be a good time to do that, especially now with the way the world is, this whole coronavirus thing. It's just better to make up with people and to let the people that you love know that you love them. Okay, so once again, I'm looking forward to your sentences. Just put them in the comment box and I'll get back to you. And if you have any friends who are also interested in learning English, please share my video and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.